All right, so yeah, man, it never really stops. But anyways, it's December 19th. We had 8:30 a.m. medium impact news driver building permits, and we also had this medium impact news driver for FOMC member Barkin speaks at 9:30. So, all right. Anyways, here we go. This is not the right chart or the right list. Here we go. All right. So here's the level that I already expected price to draw to after I saw that order block back here was invalidated. And I mean, just understand the aggressive price action to the upside. Why is it, doing this, or why are we seeing price just create these lows like it has almost every day and then just continue higher, right? And this is a weekly chart, by the way. But anyways, same thing I've been saying. Large funds behind this. All right, below these lows or these old lows now is sell side in the form of sell stops, right? Additionally, like let's go here. Even in fact, let me go on the monthly. All right, so we're on a monthly chart. Here is all the data. This is a continuous contract, right? Like this is literally everything. Where do you see price as higher? From 2000, this is before I was born, till now. When has price been higher? You haven't seen it, right? But now we have taken out this old high. So we've taken a level of buy side. Now, what did I say? I said, all right, I'm going to wait for price to show an indication that it wants to continue lower before I, change my bias. And of course, so right now, monthly bullish, right? ES bullish. All right. Buy side liquidity taken. Focused on that, seeing how price wants to react. How about the weekly? Is it different from yesterday? Of course not. Bullish, right? How about, here on the weekly? Is it different from yesterday? No, still bullish, right? So with that in mind, bullish, 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 right? Not much to be said than that. Also getting really close to the next 40, or the 40 days from November 1st, and we could be expecting a quarterly shift. We'll see if the market wants to remain range bound, or if it will, stay range bound before breaking lower. Because we are at the end of the year. But ultimately, the idea here is I'm just watching price, right? Like I'm literally just watching it, and focusing on where I expect it to go. Um, since we are at that level of buy side, or that the buy stops have been taken, right? There's really like nowhere for me to expect price to go other than lower, because we've literally ran out every single high. So all the market has priced aggressively above buy stops, right? And we've seen that. And we've seen that on a higher time frame chart. And so when the market aggressively priced higher, right, it did so to take out these stops. And that's the reason I'm saying I'm waiting for price to show an indication that it wants to go lower. This is not it. Looking on the daily here, it's not an indication. This does not look like an indication that price is going to go lower. Anyone with two brain cells can look at this on the daily and say, oh, wow, price is, continuing to go higher, right? And we have not seen any oppositional movement on that. Like if we're looking at ES, look, bullish, 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 bullish. And by the way, this gap is just a contract renewal again, but bullish, bullish, bullish every single day. The price closing higher. Same here, with the exception of this day, which was last Thursday. But apart from that, every day, price continuing higher, after this consolidation, expansion. So from expansion, we're going to see consolidation, reversal or retracement. And for a reversal, liquidity pool up here. All right, for a retracement, I mean, isn't it obvious? Expansion, aggressive expansion to the upside. If we're expecting a retracement, we're expecting price to rebalance this price range, right? Or this, price range that was delivered on one side of the market would be expecting price to go ahead and rebalance that, or consolidation, consolidating above an old high, taking a level of buy side. So we may see price move into a consolidation phase where it accumulates orders on both sides of the market. And, again, it doesn't really mean anything other than right now, the current conditions, we're expecting price to go lower, and we're just literally focused on that. That's what I'm studying. That's what I've been studying daily and daily. So, anyways, let's go. Goddamn. All right, so let's go down to my daily chart now, because this is like the same thing on the daily, so I won't spend, too much time on that. And like there's really not much to say since I'm not trading a lower time frame. So like essentially every day I'm literally just confirming my bias on where I expect price to deliver, and additionally talking about any new concepts that I've learned or implemented. And so like I said, this weekend, every night of the week, I'm going to be doing a new video. On this Saturday, I'm going to summarize what I've learned through the week in a video that's articulated and well thought out, so that way I can help deepen my understanding or retention for those concepts, right? But here we are, daily, right here. It's no different from what I was expecting on the higher time frames, right? Same thing, right? Here we go. Still not an indication on the 4-hour to expect price to go lower. We're currently still in a buy program, moving towards that 40-day mark. Taking note of this, where price did move sideways, as I mentioned yesterday. Here, this back and forth, break higher. So focused on that. But we did have this where this came down here. It actually came down here to trade to this order block right here, I believe. Yes, it did. And then afterwards continued higher. And I mentioned as well how these relative equal highs, I was already expecting those to be ran because I expected a more aggressive run for buy stops. I mentioned this yesterday, so I don't know why I'm going over it again. All right, so bullish, no reason to expect lower prices. How about here? Looking at the weekly range so far, as of now, here's the open price for the weekly range right here. Price is trading above it. We're continuing higher, right? But there's no indication so far, as of Tuesday, the day of this recording, there's no indication that we should be seeing or expecting lower prices. Same thing for NQ. All right, so that's summarizes it for all those higher time frames. Apart from the liquidity I've already noted, there's really not much else to be noted. Clean highs, clean lows. I know this low, sell side. We're not seeing any stops taken. I know that these old lows have sell stops below them, and including on these lower time frames, but all these different levels of sell side are marked on the chart, or on my institutional study chart. I could mark them here, but I just don't want to messy up my charts. So, anyways, bullish. Let's go down to the lower time frame, which is my chart that I use for 15 minutes and everything less than 15 minutes. All right. And all right, and here we are. Right. Oh, this is not 15 minute, but I was trying to delineate the range. So let me make sure I have it right. That's no, that's actually, is that 11 p.m.? Wait, is it 12? No, that was 11. Okay. And Q. So we're just delineating this range. 12, right? We'll note the high and low. But, what's the very first thing that we can notice from the overnight consolidation? Okay, here we go. Here's the opening price. We trade below it. And then what does price do for the rest of the day? Expands. All right. Continues higher. Following the current bias. Obviously, if I was entering trades right now, which I wouldn't know, why I'd be doing that with no buy side target, even knowing that we're in a buy program. But anyways, let's just say I was trading. Well, the very first thing, here's 9:15. So this is 7:40, 8:15. So, all right. So 8:30, this candle. So when we start looking for setups. So the very first thing I could notice is by looking to the left, 5 a.m. Here's the London lows and highs, which we did violate, right? This move below the New York opening price is what we would be expecting, and we would want to enter close or near the opening price. So that opening price came in at, let's see, the open was 16928, right? Here we go. This is 16939, and here, so that's about a 20 to 30 pip difference. 16945, but these lows 16938.50. So, anyways, when price trades down here, and we wouldn't know this, this is as close as it gets. Now, this happens after the previous day's high or the prior day's high is ran out, and that happens just before the 8:30 open, right? So we have this buy stops ran. Now price goes down here, but it fails to, continue lower. It fails to take these stops. It fails to take these lows all here. And then we see a reaction higher. And what else did we have today? 8:30, right? So from here, 8:30, here's the open. We have that movement lower. What's this? 9:30. 9:30 equity open. What's also paired with the equity open? FOMC. So then we have 9:30. This large candle forms, right? And then we see this back and forth. This is obviously delivered onto one side, so price wants to efficiently trade that. So it starts wicking down here, but then it is inefficiently delivered on the sell side on a lower time frame, which we'll refine this in just a moment. So then when it trades back down here, of course it needs to move higher, and so it does here. So this was the low. Here, let's just start from here. So here's the open, here's the close, here's the low, and here's the high of this candle. So price opened up down here, continues higher, trades all the way up here, closes here. The next candle that forms, right, opens here, trades lower, okay, trades all the way down here, and comes back up before the candle closes on a 15. And if this is a 15-minute candle, right? So it trades back up here and closes. Here's the close, right? Afterwards, here's the open. Price trades here, but now we have this rebalancing this, so this is an aggressive movement to the sell side. So now price moves back down here, and really what I'm just explaining is the whipsaw or the back and forth of a news driver in the morning. But we're looking at it and deepening our understanding of why it's doing that or how it's acting there and understanding that. So regardless, we then see price eventually expand to the upside. Let's go down to a lower time frame and see from 9:30 if I can get more clarity. So here we go, 9:30, open, next candle after, here's a close, next candle, right, open here, closes lower, but also trades to this last down close before the up move, so that's an order block, trades down to it again, trades down to it again, but this trades down a little further than we'd like to see because we wouldn't want to see it past the halfway point. In fact, this part 2. But for the actual bodies, it never passes. Actually passes a few pips as far as with the actual wicks, and regardless continues higher. So the very first thing that I would look for, or one of two things, the first of which would be a failure swing, showing a willingness to continue moving to the buy side, or a run below an old low. So we have these relative equal lows. A low forms here. This fails to go lower. So this indicates that the market will continue to seek higher prices when this low here isn't taken out. That's a failure swing. It fails to create a new low or to take that sell side. And we use that in correlation with our bias, and we already know we're expecting higher prices, but we don't know where to, which is the reason, again, that as of right now, I wouldn't be trading. But in terms of like, where am I anticipating price to draw to? Right now I'm following it as it continues higher because obviously, as I mentioned, we've been seeing each day after day continuously close higher. So I'm watching it. I'm waiting for that break in structure. As soon as we see that break in structure, then I can really come down to these lower time frames such as a 5-minute, 15-minute and refine an idea because I can say, oh, well, we have that level of sell side. Here's the market structure shift. But currently we're still in that buy program. And so there's really not much else to be said because we have completely exhausted all highs. So right now what price is doing is it's forming a new high. Currently, that's what we are expecting price to do, is to form a new high. And eventually we're going to see a shift in market structure. I don't know how long that is, but I need to submit the time and continue watching price action daily to ensure that I understand that. And so that leads me to the last thing that I'm going to do in this video. And then I'm going to talk about something because it's at the end of the video and nobody besides myself is really watching to this point. I swear to God, not a single soul. And it's funny because all these videos are public, right? So anyways, here we go. Send me the same thing. Like I'm gonna do this on video. I do not care. All right, listen. Hold on. So we go notes. All right. Very first thing. This is the E-mini SMT, so ES. And all right. $4792.25, 1:10 a.m. You know, I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna move this high here real quick. The reason why is when ICT originally mentioned these ranges, he mentioned that we should the range should end at 8:30. That honestly was driving me a little crazy, so I'm not gonna lie, I did it my way. I extended it out, but I'm still gonna keep the same logic that he was mentioning for the high, right? So 4820.25, 4 p.m. All right, same thing for NASDAQ. Let me adjust that. What time is this? 7:40. Okay. And actually, that's 8:50. So yeah, this would be the high. $17038.25, 7:40 p.m. $16918.25, 1:20 a.m. All right. So now that I have that noted, let's actually take a look at one thing because there is a cracking correlation between these. And what I'm learning right now is I'm learning the different relationships between different asset classes and the um, you know way that they move together or they move oppositionally, etc. And so, anyways, I'm starting to learn more about like S&T divergence and things along that nature. I still need to know like when stocks move higher, where commodities go, which like he did go over it, but I just need to go back in my notes. I was doing it late, dude. I did it. Like after I recorded yesterday's video, I fucking did it. All right. So anyways, listen, the point I'm making here, ES, here's a high right here. Okay. NQ, here's a high right here. So we go above that buy side where ES does still go above that buy side, but it doesn't do it till later on. Just noticing how, this showed a willingness to move higher. This showed a willingness to take that buy side. Now we're seeing it retrace, but we're seeing it retrace after expanded past the level of buy side and after we had a expansion today. Now that we moved above that high, we're seeing price draw back into that range. And then for the daily highs and lows, that's all I really wanted to bring up. Don't really, there's more I have to learn, and a lot of these shorter time frames, if you notice, my development is not as thorough on them just yet, and that's because I'm working, or I'm still getting through the content. So I imagine, like right now, he's going over like long-term. ICT is in the mentorship. He's going over long-term analysis, and so a lot of these ideas when I'm talking about interest rates and different things along that nature are based on that. Here we go, trading journal and day, new item. Just create, copy this, and paste this in. Journal entry. And look, now you guys are gonna be able to see what I did. See, dude, that's why I love text-to-speech, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Because here we are now. Here's my note. Boom, text-to-speech is already entered. Another day higher. journal entry. And as I mentioned, like, I mean, you're literally just looking at how price went from here. Higher, 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 lower, but also higher at the same time. Went one candle, a daily candle closed lower, one daily candle closed higher. So that is noted here, in fact. It's not noted there. I'm gonna have to look in that. I think that the note I have here was meant for that, I believe. Let me double check, actually. Let me just look at when that candle formed, and that will confirm it. So we'll go back to the daily. Just real quick. Because I believe that was Thursday. And I believe the note that I'm looking at is Friday. Did I mess that up? December 15th? I believe that was Friday, right? 15th was a Friday, so yeah. Good thing I noticed that. So we're gonna delete that here. And I'm actually gonna get that updated here, because that's where I meant to put the note. Alright. Now, so we have that in. Here's the notes. Price closed higher, and I think that's really it. So, you know what? Let me just say one thing. Sometimes I just don't, really know how to feel. Just in general, towards my family. Because I love them. My family supports me. They've done a lot for me. I feel uninspired by them, but at the same time, they've supported me. But then they say things like, oh, I don't know how I ended up here in this position. Like, I don't know why I'm here. And it's almost like a cop out. Like, I notice it, I see through it. It's like this kind of like mindset that I've noticed a lot of older people have, where it's like, I'm just completely hopeless, Like, that's kind of how they feel. Like, I've met two old people that, like, literally, so one of them said, like, I wish I could be who I want to be. The other guy, like, looked at me and said pretty much, like, he wishes he could retire, but he was going to work, until he died. And he was interested in trading. And, I wasn't at a time or anything where I could teach him, of course, but I just looked at him and, I looked at the other woman, and I could be judgmental, but I'll just say that I never wanted to. I realized then that I never wanted to be that person who is old and sitting there and has this regret. And I'd rather live like for 20 years and then just die and have like a fulfilled life than like get to that point where like I'm fucking old. Everyone around me has died. Everyone that I've loved has died. And now I'm just like, I'm not left with shit because like I didn't spend my time doing what was important to me. And for those people, I mean, maybe they found happiness in their life. But to me, when I think of happiness, I'm really thinking of freedom and just not having to work forever. And, that's what will make me happy is if I don't have to force myself to get out of bed to make $15 an hour. Like, dude, in a week, I make $400 or $460 to $470. But like, seriously, think of what a joke that is, right? My rent is $875. You know what I mean? Like, that's like $350 per check to cover like all my living expenses. And so then I'm left with $150, which really isn't that much at all. If you think of what $150 will get you, it's not shit. So, anyways, I guess I'll close this off by saying I love my family unconditionally. Like, I don't have any like feelings of hatred to them. I think I just need to be better about like accepting our differences and understanding that like the feeling that I have of like resentment towards them, it's not even like a feeling of resentment. It's just like, God, like, why do you think that? Or like, it's just disappointing to me, like, that you, like, when I was talking to my mom about like being uninspired, and she said she's been uninspired her whole life, and I'm just thinking, the person who raised me, if she's been uninspired her whole life, and she wasn't inspired to follow her own purpose and mission, I had to go through the trials and tribulations my own because I wasn't raised that way, you know. I mean, the people that were raising me weren't inspired to do their own thing, and it's very apparent in my mom. She has other priorities. I'll just say it like that. They have different priorities than me, and I don't necessarily agree with those priorities all the time, but you know, it's not my life, and I still love my family and everything. So, anyways, now I'm just ranting, but I wanted to get that out. And additionally, man, like I'll say this too, bro. I've been fucking starving myself. Like I'm actually hungry. And what do I mean by that? Well, I've been abusing stimulants, dude. I've been abusing ephedra. I've been abusing caffeine. And today I didn't even eat a meal until like 8 p.m. Mainly because I didn't have money for it until now. So I've actually, been at that point. But even so, I've been eating like one meal every day of the week. Apart from that, I'll just chug protein shakes, like two or three of them during the day, like one in the morning, one after I leave the gym, one when I, am on break at work, and then after that I get home, eat a meal. So it's really not as bad as I'm making it sound, but like I'm really not eating anything, and the reason I'm able to do that is because I've been abusing stimulants because I fucking hate myself. Like I look in the mirror and I just fucking hate myself. Like I, I don't like who I see in the mirror. You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, I still see a fat kid, even though I know I'm not, like fat. I still feel fat. You know, like I look down and any fucking like roll, even though it's just my stomach, I know in consciously it's just my stomach fucking stuffed up. I feel like a fat ass, dude. I feel like at one point I was like, I just felt like unworthy, like an unworthy person, and I wanted to never feel like that again, or to have people never, or to never feel like I was enough. And I did tell myself at one point that, and this was like a while ago, that never again will I not be enough. And I've realized now that as time has progressed, I've now pushed people away, became more callous with time. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, because like the people that were in my life and the people that were around me were not fucking doing shit. Like they served literally no purpose in my life. And I think it's good to, be super selective, be a little arrogant, right? Because arrogance keeps unwanted people away. It keeps unwanted people at a distance. If you really think of what arrogance is, it's an inflated sense of pride in one's self. And when people describe someone as arrogant, it is like, oh, like it's essentially like, oh yeah, that person is really, they have an inflated sense of accomplishment. Oh yeah, look at them. You know what I mean? Like I don't resonate with that. Like I think arrogance can be a good thing. Now there's a fine difference between arrogance and narcissism, because a narcissist thinks that they don't make mistakes and they're perfect as they are. You can be arrogant and still think that you make mistakes, right? All arrogance really is an inflated sense of pride. And if that pushes people away, that's even better, because you're pushing unwanted people out of your life. And that's a hot take. That's like maybe one of those thoughts that's better kept in your head. But that's really how I feel, dude, And listen, right? This fucking week, it's going to be a battle, but I'm going to fucking win these 5 battles. I've already won one of them, so I got fucking 4 more to go. And that battle is getting here, staying up till like fucking 1 in the morning, all right? Making this video, right? And like vocalizing this shit and like fucking reminding myself what I care about and like what's actually important to me, and like fucking doing it. Because it's not like I'm not just talking about it, dude. I'm really like doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like I've been fucking hitting the gym to do it because I hate myself so much. And I've been, studying this because I hate where I am financially, and I hate where, I come from, in the sense of like the mindset that the people, who raised me have, and I love them unconditionally, but I hate that, specific mindset. So that's really what I need to differentiate. And loving someone unconditionally is loving them for as they are, not based on what they've done, etc. Because I can definitely pick the bad out in everything, but there's also a lot of good things, that have come from my family. So, and, just their help. I mean, I really don't know what I would do without them. Seriously, I'd be seriously fucked. All right. So, um, yeah, yeah, everything I do really is for my family too. I can't forget that. But that's my rant. I'm going to end it off now. Peace.